Very good morning, children. Children, we had started with lesson number 4, that is environmental balance. Yes, children. Now, first of all, let us recall what we had done in our earlier lecture. Then we will proceed with the lesson. Fine? Children, in the beginning of the lesson, I had asked you all to see an image, and I had asked you all to locate the living things and non living things in the picture. Yes, children? Then we had seen about a term, biodiversity. Yes? What is the meaning of that, children? The meaning of that is that the variety we see in all the living things that belong to a particular area is what is called as the biodiversity of that place. Fine, children? One more time I will repeat. The variety that we see in all the living things that belong to a particular area is called as the biodiversity of that place. Okay, children? Then we had seen that how to study the biodiversity of a place. First, children, the scientists make a number of observations, okay, and they all make these observations in different conditions on day, then afternoon, night, etc. Fine. They use special instruments for this. Okay, children. Different scientists do this. They all come together and discuss about their observation. Then these observations are studied again and again. Okay, and this is done over a long period of time, and then we are sure of a biodiversity of a place. Okay, children, so it needs a lot of hard work to study the biodiversity of a special place or any place. Fine, children. Then we had seen about environment. Yes, what is the meaning of environment? The surroundings and the condition in those surroundings that affect the life of organisms there is what is called as environment. And what is included in environment, children? Environment includes many components such as sunlight, air, water, soil, plants, and animals, etc. Fine? All of these come under the term environment. Okay? Yes. Then we have seen about a branch of science called as environmental science. What is it, children? We have seen that living and non-living things are dependent on each other. Yes, without living things, non-living things can't survive, and without non-living things, living things will not be able to survive. Meaning that both the living things and the non-living things are dependent on each other. एक दूसरे पे निर्भर है. फाइन. एक के बिना दूसरे का नहीं चलेगा, एंड उसके बिना उसका नहीं चलेगा. फाइन, चिल्ड्रन. सो दे आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन ईच अदर. There is a lot of give and take or interaction between them. Okay, लेन देन होती है एंड उनके बीच में बहुत इंटरेक्शन है. ओके, एंड एनवायरमेंटल साइंस studies these interactions. Fine, children? Yes. Then we had seen about the food chain. Now we will continue with the lesson. Children, look at the picture below. Right? Yes. What you all can see? You all can see sunlight, sun, yes, then is grass, then is an arrow, then you all can see a worm, right? Then after that again there is an arrow, you all can see grasshopper, and after that again there is an arrow, you all can see sparrow, yes, you all can see a bird. So children, what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that all these things are related to each other. They are linked with each other. If one of the things in this is not there, then all the things cannot happen. Oh, okay, children, understood? Means what? They form a chain. Fine? And if any one component of the chain is broken, then the chain will also get broken. Fine? A worm eats grass and leaves. A grasshopper eats worms, and birds eat grasshoppers. So this is what is called as a food chain. Fine, children? Because of the presence of sun, there is grass. Yes, this grass is eaten by a worm. The worm is in turn eaten by a grasshopper, and the grasshopper is in turn eaten by a bird. Fine, children? So they all are linked. This forms a chain, and this is called as a food chain. Fine? Now, children, there are several links in the chain, and if these links were to separate from each other, could they be called a chain? Yes, children, answer me. No, they would not be called as a chain. Why? Because when we say chain, that means it is continuous, right? And if one of the things is also broken, then we can't call it a chain. Even though each link is a complete object, it is joined to the links before and after it. If any links come loose, then the chain is broken. Right, children? In the first picture, we see the sun, some plants, a worm, a grasshopper, and a sparrow. They are all connected. Each of the components like plants, worm, grasshopper, bird is a food for the next one, right? That is why we say that they form a chain, and such a chain is called as a food chain. Each of these components is a link in a food chain. Fine? Okay. Similarly, children, see these both the pictures. What is the deer's food? Yes, the deer's food is the leaves of the trees, right, children? And what is the food for the tiger? Of course, the deer. Yes? Next, in the nature, there are many food chains. If one of the links in a chain becomes extinct, can the food chain last? No. Right? As I had said earlier, if one of the links is broken, then the chain can't survive. It will get lost. Fine? The food web now. Okay? See here, children. You all can see this picture. Yes. Why there are so many arrows here? Since it is a food web. Fine. What is it? That we'll see. One living thing can be a part of number of food chains. Okay, children. For example, see, here is grass, right? Grass is eaten by a worm. Grass is eaten by a deer. Grass is eaten by grasshopper. Okay? And grass is eaten by even rabbits. Okay? And they are then in turn eaten by different animals like lion, wolf, tiger, right? Grasshopper is eaten by bird, rabbits are eaten by eagles, vultures, etc. Fine? So these are all can be a link for different food chains, and these all food chains form what is called as a food web. Fine, children? Yes. One living thing can be a part of the number of food chains, and this gives rise to a food web in the nature. Fine. But children, which is the most important food in food chains? Plants. Yes. See this image. Okay. Water, then oxygen is given out by the plants and carbon dioxide is taken in by the plants in presence of sunlight. Yes, children? Okay. Every living thing gets its food from the environment. Many animals in our environment eat only plants. Yes, agreed? Yes. And other animals eat the animals that live on the plants, right? But plants make their own food in the presence of sunlight using water and carbon dioxide. It means that plants are the main support of every food chain. Fine? Next, we'll talk about environmental balance. How is the balance of environment maintained? There are many food chains in our environment. Yes, children, agree? Is there only one or two food chains in our environment? No. There are several food chains in our environment. Because of these food chains, every living thing gets the food it needs, right? And therefore continues to live. Microorganisms living in the soil help the process of decomposition of plant residue, dead animals, then excreta, etc. And as a result of this, substances that help the growth of the plants are formed and they get added to the soil. Plants use them for their growth. Fine? Thus, plants use substances in the soil for their growth, and when plants and animals die, the decomposition of their remains adds these substances to the soil once again. So, this cycle goes on and on. Fine, children? Also, living things get a continuous supply of water because of water cycle. Fine? Water cycle is also an important cycle in our environment. Living things use oxygen from the air for breathing and give out carbon dioxide gas. Plants use this carbon dioxide from the air for making their food. Yes, and oxygen is given out in this process by them. This too is a cycle, children. How it is a cycle? Because we give out carbon dioxide which is used by the plants, and plants give out oxygen which is used by us, and so this cycle also goes on and on. Yes, children? There are several other such cycles in the nature. Thus, there is interaction amongst the living things and between living and non-living things in the nature. The interactions go on continuously. Okay? And this helps to maintain the food chain in our environment, and when the various cycles in our environment go on uninterrupted, means without any disturbance, then environmental balance is maintained. Fine, children? And children, always remember, for existence of the living things, it is important that environmental balance is maintained. Fine. With this, children, we have come to an end of chapter number 4. Soon I'll provide you all with the notes. Thank you.